This is Sylvia here, and I am on the Kraaft Shaak Design Team. And for this month, we've been tasked to make a wearable item. And I'm going to actually show you two wearable items that I've made, but this one is serving a twofold purpose for me. I'm going to make one of those t-shirt bags. And they're so simple to make, they're just so easy to make. You just get an old t-shirt and you fold it in half, and on the part where the arms are, you just need to cut them off, cut the arms off completely. Just cut them all up off completely. And then you need to make another opening on the other side, where the seam is, where you have folded this over. And what I like to do when I make these is I like to line it up with this edge that I've cut off, because I want them to be similar in look. I don't want one edge to be real low and another edge to be up real high. So what I do basically is I just fold this over and I let my cut off area be the guide on how I cut. So then I cut that off, and I have now, they're pretty similar in the length and the curvature. And what this eventually becomes, this is the strap part of the bag. And then you have the bottom of your t-shirt down here. Now there's several different things that you can do with the bottom. If you like to sew, you can just run a stitch all the way down here on the bottom. And if you do that, that leaves the bag kind of open like this. But what I like to do is I like to just gather it. Oh, first of all, I take one of the sleeves that we just cut off. They have this edge on them, that's sewn. So I just cut that off, because then this gives me a reinforced tie that I'm going to use. And so then I just begin just gathering, there's just, loosely gathering these things up. I don't want to go real crazy like that. I want to make sure that I keep the top seam in line, top edge in line. So when I gather this, I know that I've got it all gathered on this full bottom part. So now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap the sleeve that I cut off around here and just give it a really good tight tie. And then I'm going to wrap it around again. I'm going to tie it again. And then I'm going to do a double knot and just tie it off. Now, you can leave it like this. So this is the bottom, the way it looks on the bottom with this hanging down, which I think is really cute. You could shred this if you want to, fan it out, make it look like a little flower. Just pull this apart like this. And you got a real cute little decorated bottom area to your little shoulder bag. It's how we used to do the flowers and stuff. Isn't that cute? Okay, so now you've got the bottom of your bag. A lot of places, they turn this inside out. A lot of things that I've seen on YouTube, they turn it inside out, and this is what it would look like if you turned it inside out. And you just have a bottom that looks like that. And then now you've got a bag. These are your armholes. This goes up over your shoulder, and you've got a cute little shopping bag. Lightweight, easy to take care of, throw in the washing machine when it gets dirty. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate this with items that I got in my multimedia kit from the Kraaft Shaak. And I'll be right back with all those items. Okay, crafters, so out of the multimedia bag, that box that you get from the Kraaft Shaak, Heather, in my particular box, put some of this wonderful gauze cheesecloth. Yeah. And then this, I think, is a dryer sheet. Look at all of the texture on that. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I think I might make a flower out of this, and this just might be some kind of background to the flower. And then I have this beautiful stencil. This is a Finnabair stencil. And then she also includes a bag that's loaded with goodies, and I have a beautiful doily in there, but I'm not going to use that on this. I want to save it for another project. And I have sequins, which I'll probably put on here. And also in this bag, she included this little, it's what you use for needlepoint, but they're really cool. You can use them in multimedia to add texture to items. You can stamp through them. You can, it just leaves a cool impression. So I'm probably going to use this too. And then, like I said, some of the items that are in here. So what I want to do is I'm going to put some design on by using this stencil. And I've got some permaset. This is textile paint. And I've got copper metallic. And who doesn't like copper metallic? So that's what I'm going to use on my little bag here. And I'm just going to pounce and rub through this stencil and get some of the design transferred. And I'm going to do this all over this t-shirt bag. Now, this stencil doesn't have a lot of loose openings, openings that stick up and stuff. So you can say I'm able to rub as opposed to pouncing, which is really kind of cool about this. So I'm just dipping in my pot of the fabric paint, and I'm offloading here on my craft mat so I don't get too much on. And then you can see I'm just going over this. I'm not pouncing because, like I said, this doesn't have a lot of loose ends, so I can actually rub it over. And then look at that, isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh, I love it. So that's what I'm going to do all over the shirt. And I'm going to have some that are going to hang off the edge, which I'll do right here. And if I get extra stuff on here, I don't care. It's just a bag. If I get smudges, it's okay. But if that kind of stuff bothers you, then don't do as I do. Be very careful. And then I'm actually going to put some of this up on the shoulder area too, because I want to decorate the whole bag. See what that looks like. Oh, look how cute that is. Okay, so let's go up on the shoulder area. And let's get some of the paint down. Because I want the whole thing to be covered. I just think that that's going to be so cool. And then when this is all dry, I'll go back with that other little piece I showed you, that circular piece, and do something with that. I don't know if I'll use the same color or if I'll put a different color in here. But as long as I'm working with this, I want to get it all down at once. Look at that, isn't that cute? It's up at the top of the shoulder. And let's put another one down here. Put a full one here. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep doing this. And the nice thing about this fabric paint is that it cleans up with water, but once it's dry, it's permanent. And I don't have to add any kind of binder in it at all or anything like that. Oh, I just love this. This is going to be so cute. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to continue doing this with the rest of the bag. And when it's all done, I'll be back. Another thing that Heather includes in the multimedia kit is some Lindy Stamp Gang Magicals, micas, and I just mixed it up with my fabric medium here and some water. I just spritz some water in there, and I'm gonna dye the cheesecloth with it. We'll see what color it takes and see if it picks up any of that magicals at all. Just gonna squeeze it out real good. Okay. Oh, it's gonna be a yummy color. Boy, the color on the screen is not that good. This is a nice medium shade of green here. And then when this dries, oh my gosh, so I'll make something out of this. Might just be some leaves for a flower or something. Okay, so I'll set that aside to dry. And then with the dryer sheet that she gave me, I think I'm going to do almost like a little tie-dye with it. I'm going to do areas of it. I don't want to do the whole thing because I think I'm going to make, like I said, maybe some flowers out of it or something. And of course, I can always spritz the flowers later with something else. Or I can paint them with acrylic paint or whatever else I want to do to them. But since I've got this made up, I thought, I'll just use it up on this. Look at my fingers. Cool. Okay, so I got that. Let's see what this looks like now. See if I can adjust that color because boy, yeah, that's a little more green. Isn't that a pretty color? Look at that. Now you can see this a little bit better too. Okay, so I'll set these all aside to dry and I'll be back. Okay, the fabric that we dyed up is dry because I heat set it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some circles out of this and make some flowers. And I originally thought that I would just fold it in thirds and then fold it in thirds again and cut a circle which will be about this size. But then I thought, no, I want to make these big. I want the circles to be big because I want a big flower. So I think actually what I'm going to do is just fold it in half and then in half again. And I'm just going to cut a great big huge circle out of this. And all I do is just cut a circle. Try as best I can to make it look like a circle, but it's going to get all scrunched together anyway, so and just cut this around. Okay, so now I've got 4 circles to play with, and I'm probably going to put a sequin in the center. I'll just sew a sequin in the center, and then I'll just scrunch this all together, and we'll get a flower made out of this. I'll be right back. I got to get needle and thread for the sequin. Well, I sped this clip up because, quite frankly, watching me sew is about as boring as watching paint dry. And you know what? It could possibly put you to sleep. making the flower now, and to put the little wavy stuff in it, I'm just using my tiny attacher, and all I'm doing is I'm just gathering, you saw how I do that, it's a little loop down here, and just doing a little staple in it. The ones in the center have got more little loops and staples in it, but this one down here on the bottom, I just wanted it to be fairly loose. And so now I've got a cute little flower. It's got some ruffles to it. So I'm going to attach that probably along with this. Oh, that looks cute like that. Gather some of this. Okay, so now I have to decide where I want the flower, and I decided I wanted it up on the shoulder. So I'm just going to cut some of this because I don't need all this material. Probably about half. And set that aside for yet another project. Okay, and then I'm just going to just gather up some of this. Put the little flower in there, and I'm just going to sew it on the upper part. Isn't that cute? Of the shoulder here. Oh, I just love how that looks. That's so adorable. So I just need to get my needle and thread out and get this sewn on. After I got it all sewn on. Look how cute that looks. Isn't that amazing? Let me see if I can adjust the color again. Isn't that cute? And that just sits up on the shoulder. Isn't that adorable? Okay, so now we've got that done. I've got to gather the bottom. And so I'm going to gather the bottom exactly how I showed you before. Just putting a little series of fan folds in here. And try to keep this level. Okay, there we go. And then my tie. Let's tie that up real cute. Move that down a little bit. Pull that tight. Wrap it around again. Tie it again. Put a double knot in it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fan this out on the bottom. So it looks like a little flower down here. You know, like how we used to do our tissue flowers. And there is the finished bottom to my bag. Isn't that adorable? Look how cute that looks. Okay, and I'll get some pictures of this up so you can see how sweet this looks and when you're wearing it. Thank you for joining me on this quick little making a t-shirt bag video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it gave you some ideas to spark your creativity. Bye for now.